278, in which in the middleweight division, Paulo Costa defeated Luke Rockhold by unanimous decision. 30-27s across the board. Omar, let me throw it over to you first this time. What was your assessment? What are your thoughts of Costa getting it done over Luke Rockhold, retiring him in the process? It was kind of a sloppy one from start to finish, pretty much.
It was. Again, I think altitude played its part in this, because Costa didn't even look that fantastic considering Rockhold was like moments from death for like the last 2 rounds. So, it's not like Costa put on that much of a spectacular dominating performance in that respect. To be fair, Rockhold is a tough motherfucker, and that dude never went away. Kept throwing shots. I can only imagine the kind of pain he was in if he was really that gassed to have his hands on his knees in the middle of a fight. Yeah. But the dude still kept throwing when he could. He just doesn't look like he can take shots the same way, because it wasn't even like a chin issue so much as just a durability issue. I think he threw 1 question mark kick in that whole fight. That man should be relying on those question mark kicks. He will kill somebody with that.
They're nasty.
They really are. And he doesn't throw enough of them, and I don't understand why. But listen, man, he got into a street fight in there. He got into a good old street fight. That was not a technical fight, I think, by any stretch of the imagination from either side. And he got into a good old war. Costa got a little banged up. Rockhold got a lot more banged up. And Costa went away with this, a very, very unanimous decision. And a sad goodbye from Rockhold. He's given us a lot of great fights. I think one of the first fights I ever saw him in was in Strikeforce. I remember the Tim Kennedy fight like it was yesterday, because that was, I think, the first time where I really saw his level of fighter on display. He had whooped somebody right before then, and I can't remember who it was. But I actually think that 5-round decision where he really out-fought Tim Kennedy was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen, because Tim Kennedy especially then, was an absolute beast. Mm-hmm. And then he's got the Costa Philippou. He went on this crazy-ass tear. The infamous spinning back kick counter off of Chris Weidman to win the belt. And then Bisping ruined his life. And his shit has never been the same since Bisping.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Bisping probably sleeps at night somewhat content with that. Because it's Bisping. But, yeah, man, Luke Rockhold had a fantastic career. He should definitely not be sad about anything. Another little tidbit, all of the reign of the AKA champions has officially ended. All AKA champions that we knew have officially retired. Kane, Khabib, DC, and now Rockhold.
Dude, I saw DC post a picture of all of them in the octagon when Luke had the belt on his waist, and it's like him, Javier Mendez, Khabib, DC. I forget there was a 5th person. I forget who that would have been. But they're lined up in the octagon, and DC's comment was, "When we were kings." And I literally had like a split second of like being emotional, and I was like, "All right, Mark, like getting together."
Like you freaking trained at AKA.
Like I was just like, "Oh man, like that time is gone. Like what a great time in MMA that was, and it's gone."
That was a sick team, dude. Sick team.
It's the end of an era. It really is the end of an era.
Oh, Kane, but Kane wasn't in that picture, I don't think. But obviously Kane as well.
Yeah. Kane, Khabib, DC, Rockhold. Those are the guys. They were running shit when they were around. And all that's done now.
Yeah, man. Wonder what's going to be next for Mr. Rockhold. But Mark, let's hear your thoughts on the outcome of Costa versus Rockhold.
Yeah, this thing was nuts from start to finish, and I loved every single second of it. I would love to see what Luke could have done if he didn't gas before the first round even ended, because he honestly looked good, like skill-wise. Like I was like, damn, this man is dangerous as hell. But he just, I don't know if it was the years off or the altitude, as we've said, or the busted nose that happened early, or a combo of all of those things. But he was dead by the time the bell rang after round 1. I mean, he was dead. And to his credit, he stood in there and he scrapped for 10 more minutes, hurt Costa, went for it the whole time, And you know, people forget, even I forget, because Luke can be KO'd. So you think about his chin, oh, he's not durable. But as long as he's awake, that man is a dog. He has zero quit unless you put him out. And he showed it again in this one. On the Costa side, what an animal that man is. First of all, he came in incredible shape, insane shape. Shut a lot of people up after what he pulled against Vettori. And he deserved all the shit he got, but this was a nice statement from him. He absolutely ate everything Luke threw at him, and there were some big shots. He hurt Luke multiple times. He put on a show. He shows off some very improved grappling, which makes him really interesting going forward if that's going to be a new aspect of his game. And he gets a big noteworthy win here to kind of throw himself right back in the middleweight mix despite having lost 2 in a row prior to this. I feel like there's a big fight coming up for him despite those 2 losses just off of this win. And then lastly, I love that the last memory Luke gives us of himself before riding off into the sunset is to rub his bloody face all over another man's face, just as a classic Luke Rockhold fuck you.
Oh my God. That was a memorable moment for sure.
And if that didn't seal the deal, the next day on Instagram, he posts a video of him cracking Costa in the face while he's dead tired with the caption, "You're still a bitch."
Yeah, I saw that too.
I loved it. Loved it.
Wow, a little salty there.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say those guys don't like each other.
Yeah, I guess not. I thought Costa did he deserves the credit for turning it into a Paulo Costa fight. I mean, Costa is a brawler, and he's pretty much everyone except for Izzy. He manages to pull them into the quicksand pit with him, and he just fucks you up because he has so much power. He has a great chin. He's a tank. He ate some huge shots from Rockhold, man. Rockhold's a killer.
Yeah.
And Costa just ate it. And credit to him, man. I would be very interested to see him climb right back up into the upper echelon of middleweight to see what he can do again. Possibly another shot at the belt. Because he looked great.
I wish
Speaking of,
Rockhold would have went out with not an altitude issue. I wish he would have given himself a real opportunity to have a real fight.
I think it was also he apparently had a broken nose in the first round.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about.
And he was he was breathing through his mouth, like huge open mouth breathing. He was kind of like making this like awful face the whole fight.
His poker face is also completely fucking destroyed.
Right. So yeah,
His
I think
poker-
he had to immediately start mouth breathing when his nose was broken. I think he immediately went to that sort of fight or flight mode. He couldn't stay calm in there, and I think his heart rate probably went up, and he just gassed terribly.
Yeah.
I agree, but like also guys don't learn about the altitude. Like even on Embedded, he was like, "Yeah, got out here a week early to adjust to the altitude." Like
you gotta be there
that
like a
is
month.
not enough. Like, have we not learned? You were on Kane's team when he pulled the shit in Mexico City where Cardio Kane died. Like I don't know how fighters haven't learned this yet. Like if you are fighting in a city with altitude, you are moving there 1 month prior. I don't want to hear anything less than that.
At
1
least.
month prior.
If it's the co-main event of a UFC pay-per-view, I would say at least a month.
Yeah, like I don't. Even Leon only went 2 weeks before.
Yeah, that could have been part of it for him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it plays a factor, and we'll find out with the rematch. But to say it had no effect at all, I don't think Leon would have gassed by the end of the first round. I think that's crazy.
So many guys on the card throughout the whole night.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, throwing it back to you. Put on your matchmaker's hat. We obviously aren't going to discuss where Rockhold goes from here because he is laying down the gloves. But let's talk about Costa. Middleweight has a nice win. He looked great. If you're the matchmaker of the UFC, what would you want to be doing with Paulo Costa next?
I got one name and one name only, and that name is Robert Whittaker.
Ooh.
I don't even care if he wins or loses. I know he's fighting Vettori. If he beats Vettori, I don't think he's getting a title shot again already. He's going to need something to do. I think him and Costa would be incredible. If Vettori beats him, I don't think they're going to make Vettori fight Costa again. He just beat him. So, hey, Costa's coming off 2 losses right before this win. Doesn't matter that Whittaker's coming off a loss. I'm still making that fight. Either way, I'm going Paulo Costa versus Robert Whittaker.
Omar, agree, disagree, or Any other names?
I'm gonna throw another name out just because I want to be spicy. I think if you want to get a little crazy, and with Costa coming back, I personally, as much as the fight was enjoyable, I was not impressed by his performance, and I think that Andre Muniz could put it on this boy.
Oh wow!
Wow.
I might be a little wild here, but I think it could be done, and I think it'd be fun to watch. So I think we catapult Andre Muniz and see what happens.
Wow.
You know who he'd also be very interesting for? If Izzy was to beat Pereira.
I thought
That would
about
be a
it.
wild bounce back fight for Pereira.
I thought about it. The only thing is that that fight happens in November, so you'd have to wait. You have to make Costa wait until November, and then if Alex Pereira gets out of there, healthy, then maybe another 2-3 months after that.
No, I agree. Which is the main reason I said Whitaker, because he's about to be fighting in a week.
Yeah, and Muniz doesn't have shit to do right now, so it'll be even sooner.
Yep.
Well,